All right, I want to talk about dissociation, how I've experienced this. We have our present moment that we're in. Like right now, we're in this present moment. Our minds may be running. We may be calming our minds down to realize this more clearly. But this present moment is what there is. It's the same present moment there's always been. It's the same present moment there will always be. Our minds are the part of our operation that drive our awareness out of it into an imagined future or past. And at the base root of it, it all happens from this present moment. The emotions in our system run from this present moment. The thoughts that happen in our psyche occur in this present moment. But oftentimes with our perceptive awareness, with our mind, I call it our perceptive awareness, it gets swept offline by the very emotions that run through our system, through our survival system to keep us alive, are the emotions that sweep the mind out of presence. And it happens over and over again. The mind is chronically preoccupied somewhere else. And we also have our ability to realize this present moment they're being generated from and do our best to regain a sense of awareness in it. And I'm helping myself do this better and better by practicing a stress response deactivation strategy. I do 5 steps and I combine them together to give me the best possible chance at deactivating my fight-flight nervous system. This is the sympathetic nervous system, while simultaneously upregulating, waking up my parasympathetic nervous system. This is the nervous system that's associated with my higher brain, higher mind, prefrontal cortex. This is what I want back online as quickly and efficiently as humanly possible. I want to wake up my prefrontal cortex. Because our operation toggles, I think of it toggling like this. We have survival brain operation and higher brain operation. And they toggle. Stress turns the higher brain off. Right, just like my leg falling asleep if I'd been sitting in a chair in an awkward position and my foot and leg went numb. My prefrontal cortex does essentially the same thing through stress. And so if my foot and leg fall asleep, I can sit there and try and endure that agonizing tingle that I don't know if it hurts so bad it's unbearable, or if it just tingles and tickles so bad it's unbearable. Either way, it's bad. So what I want to do is wake up my foot and leg as quickly and efficiently as possible. And I do this by carefully putting pressure on my foot on the ground, between my foot and the ground. I'm putting pressure downward to reestablish feeling and sensation in my leg, my foot and leg, much more quickly and efficiently. If I stand up doing this, which I typically do, I make sure my knees are bent, because standing up with a leg that's asleep, If you try and walk like that, that's a nightmare. Like, make sure to keep your knees bent for safety. Waking your foot and leg up if you're standing up. But what I'm doing is waking up this frontal cortex part of my brain. Realizing, okay, if stress knocks it offline, then I want it restored as quickly and efficiently as possible. So how does my body operate normally when this part of my brain is functioning and all is well? Okay, understanding the baseline of my operation at a chill state. What happens in my operation when my stress response activates? How does it change then? And what's the contrast? What steps can I take to directly counteract the symptoms of stress response activation? And how can I muscle memorize these in order to default to them under stress? Right? This is the essence of what I wanted to understand going into healing. I'm able to put it into words now, but yeah, develop a safety system. And so what I'm doing while I'm awake, while I'm conscious, is I'm practicing measures to help deactivate my survival system, my stress response system. When stress provokes my higher mind to sleep. Stress puts my higher mind to sleep. It turns it offline. It's like flipping a switch in a breaker panel. And wanting to restore this operation, right? It takes my body operating in a very specific way to do this, because because we're a survival organism, our bodies know the pattern to run, the breathing pattern, the muscle tension, the thought patterns to run in order to make sure that survival mode remains activated. Until the survival brain knows that we're safe. It's not a question. The survival brain knows we are safe. Then here's the thing. The activation of our survival system in the first place, it activates by a possible threat. It activates instantly, it activates powerfully, and the charges linger. Right? And then depending if the threat is verified or discard, not a threat, system's able to shut down, that's one thing. But if the threat lingers and the system gets the signal, okay, go ahead and run the full show for the threat, then the system runs for quite a bit of time. I don't know what the actual timing of it is from there, but it's been hours for me, and days and weeks and months. Like, it perpetuated. But I have since learned to shorten the rides. I still take them. Like, oh yeah, every day. Whatever. They're getting shorter. I'm doing better. But the ridiculous amount of stuff that I had exposed myself to through the days of my invincible youth, yeah, I get a lifetime of healing. So a lifetime of material. What the stress response activates immediately. It activates by a possible threat. A possible threat activates. We feel it immediately. It lingers for a while. Now, in order to deactivate the stress response system, our survival system has to know that we are in fact safe, that we can start slowing the train down, slowing the momentum down. We're safe. We can bring the survival brain down, shut the survival brain operation down, and reinstate the prefrontal cortex part of the brain as the primary leader of our mind operation again. And there's certain patterns that our bodies operate in when we're in either of these states. So what I'm doing is mimicking what my body does when it's operating in the higher mind state, and practicing them, muscle memorizing this in order to be able to forcibly default to this under stress. And I say forcibly default because I know we default to it when we practice it enough, but it's also something we must practice in order to be able to default to this. Like there's no shortcutting repetition. And this is where it all comes together and it all counts, is repetition, rote repetition, rote repetition. Whatever we repeat, the most we're able to default to under stress, the best. So we want to take advantage of what's known as neuroplasticity, self-directed neuroplasticity. This is the conscious intention of the regrowing of neural networks in the brain through our thought focus and meditation. There's more to it, but just know that self-directed neuroplasticity is a thing. And we're also taking advantage of the phenomenon of atrophy. Like the human body not using muscles experience atrophy, or we experience atrophy in the muscles, whatever. There's also psychic atrophy, not using the mind power. There's physical and psychological, I guess emotional, spiritual atrophy. I don't know. I just know atrophy is a thing, and I'm taking advantage of it as well by deliberately not doing the harmful default practices I had been doing. I'm allowing those neural networks to atrophy, to atrophize, to vanish, to dissolve, to lose any strength, lose any conviction, lose any power, have the ruts in the road filled in. And it's taking advantage of this side too. So there's self-directed neuroplasticity, things that I want to do, things that I'm rewiring my brain to do over a series of days through rote repetition of very specific things under very specific circumstances. And there's also the refraining from doing old things, from doing old habits, old patterns. So this is a twofold thing. And yeah, we can do this. We can, everyone can do this. We can all curb old bad habits. We can all rewire new good habits. And we can get very good at this. Rewire healing habits. Yeah, healing and self-growth, it's highly uncomfortable. It's also empowering. Allow yourself to heal. Give yourself permission to heal. Give yourself permission to feel better, to heal. To be as God designed you to be. We all have this potential, realized presence. It's free. It's just a calming of the mind. For me, I deal with enough flashback where I get the experiences of anxiety and depression. So like my mind storms. And I've recognized through it all that the steady regaining of presence is what there is. This is what we can do. We can keep this as our steady foundation. There's always this present moment. This present moment is the only thing that factors into any equation we humans deal with on Earth. This present moment. There's this present moment versus mind-imagined time. Has anyone ever experienced the past or the future? I know I feel like I have, but I know I never have. I've experienced it all from this present moment. Where my mind went felt very real. And my mind was dissociated there for long periods of time. But it all ultimately happened from and in this present moment. And this is what we have that we can bring with us into any scenario. You realize this knowing in you, you realize presence. Sales pitches no longer work on you because they require the element of mind, imagined time in order to operate. And you take that away from them, you take that capacity away from any other human being to cast your mind into imagined time. You become present. You become the owner of your own world. Yeah, you're untouchable. Certainly, we're all susceptible to emotions. Yeah, I experienced some bad ones. I experienced some good ones. But yeah, they get intense. I say that the emotions I feel in my system, yeah, they get I get intense. They either get intense enough to dissociate my mind operation, or they don't. And I either get good enough to recover my mind operation from dissociation, or I haven't yet. Like what level of dissociation, how much emotion am I talking about? You know, there's a certain level where my mind gets swept away, and what I know is presence. Like in all the swirling confusion of my head, I remember this present moment is what there is. So I realize this. I'm like, okay, wow. No matter what's going on, okay, presence, 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 presence. Here I am here, and bringing my mind back over and over again to restabilize in presence. You know, wow, what a ride. That's terrible. You know, but realizing I am alive here and now versus where my mind associated off to. Because wherever my mind is dissociated off to, the actual emotions of that experience are running through my system now. And I'm experiencing them so intensely that my survival brain is like, oh, wow, what's going on? Dissociates back into the memory causing it in the first place. It's just a cycle. And we can break it. We realize that there are no thoughts or emotions running in our system that can kill us. They only feel like they can. And they feel very much like they can. But none of them can. None of my thoughts, none of my emotions can kill me. They only feel like they can. And I remember this going in. And the way I remember this going in is through sitting through this and realization of this in myself. Simply intellectually knowing this and hearing this is not enough. We have to realize this for ourselves in order to be able to depend on it for ourselves. All I can do is point you out to a bunch of things for you to see for yourself. I just see it for myself, and I'm grateful I get to pass it along. Keep regaining a sense of present moment awareness. Have this as your intent. Operate your system in ways that are more conducive to running present moment awareness. Practice these measures. Get so good at these that you're able to default to them under stress. This is where the magic happens. When my mind's awake, I'm practicing measures to help wake my mind up when stress puts it to sleep. And I'm doing this over and over again. Again, when my mind's awake, I'm practicing measures to wake it up when stress puts my mind to sleep. And I'm doing this over and over again. This is what we can do. This is what we can all do. We can all get very good at doing this. I've talked long enough on this video, and I wanted to make this as I don't know what I'm doing with it, just introduction video, just explaining some things, rambling, saying, hey, what's up? This is who I am. It's a video. So I hope you learned something good from it. I hope you're able to use it, use the information from it, use the strategy moving forward. Any strategy you pick up, I hope you're able to use it for yourself moving forward. Like whatever you realize you can use, you have for yourself to use. You're like, wow, I see the utility here. Boom, you're able to use it. This is yours. Use it. Yeah. I want you to get good stuff from these videos. And I get to use my own pain to put it all together. This is a very useful thing. I mean, it makes my pain far more bearable, being able to use it in this way. And I am just so grateful and blessed to be able to do this. So yeah, just keep healing. Keep doing your best. This is what matters, is our best. Our mind sets up delusions of perfection, but there's no such thing. Perfection is an unreasonable standard, the standard that does not exist. Yet we hold ourselves to it. I struggle with this terribly. And so now I'm at the point where I'm making videos and I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm so tired, and I think it's just painful to try and make the perfect video. And there's no need for it. Yeah, this video, there's flaws in it. This is who I am. Okay, I'm doing my best. Like, I'll learn to edit. One day I'll make cool videos and all that stuff, but whatever. The content's what's important. Keep practicing measures to deactivate your stress response system. This is the sympathetic nervous system. You want to deactivate the sympathetic nervous system. You want to take measures to reactivate the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the higher mind functioning, logical brain nervous system. And we also want to soothe the enteric nervous system. This is the stomach and the digestive tract. And I want to soothe my enteric nervous system to get it out of the way. Because anytime I've ever been hungry and angry at the same time, my higher brain was not working right. And so I want to remove that as a factor as much as possible. And this is also very difficult to do when I'm under stress. If I've got anxiety just raging through my system, it is difficult to eat. What I do in these circumstances is I'll make the best quality food I can make, and I'll start off and I'll take one bite, put it down, and go about what I'm doing, just working to deactivate, doing my thing, doing my best to just calm my system back to chill mode. And that one bite of food, my body, well then, it's not much. The body digests it. The more I'm able to calm my sympathetic nervous system operation, the better my body's able to digest the food. So my body receives nutrients. It's like, whoa, what's going on there? And then I'm able to take a couple more bites, maybe, and then maybe another one bite, another two, and then give it more time. And then after a while, 3 and 4 bites, and I just keep eating incrementally, and eventually I'm eating just fine. And the food was always there. My ability to eat it was always there. My system was just running in a way that it was trying to not eat it. Like, my stress response system did not want to eat that food. My stress response system wants to keep running. It wants to keep going. It's like, yo, let's keep the fight going. And that's how the stress response system runs. It's survive it at all costs. And it doesn't run on logic. Logic and reason, they don't happen there. Because when stress response system activation happens, the front lobe part of the brain deactivates. It's like turn it off. So it's not even around to have input. We operate in pattern, whatever pattern we familiarize to the circumstances we operate in until we survive. So what I'm doing, and in addition to figuring out what's going on in my environment to trip my system, including my outer and inner environment, is I'm practicing a 5-step strategy to help promote deactivation of the sympathetic nervous system, it's the fight-flight nervous system, simultaneously promote reactivation of the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the higher mind operating prefrontal cortex, logical functioning brain nervous system, and soothe my enteric nervous system. This is my stomach and digestive tract. I want to soothe my enteric nervous system, get it out of the way, perform measures to help deactivate my sympathetic nervous system and reactivate my parasympathetic nervous system. The 5 steps I'm taking to help deactivate my sympathetic nervous system while simultaneously upregulating my parasympathetic nervous system are: number 1, pattern breathing; number 2, muscle relaxation; number 3, thought maintenance; number 4, divergent focus; number 5, hope and gratitude. Now, how these work: there's also soothing the enteric nervous system. Now, how these 5 measures work together is like this. Pattern breathing component. I'm breathing in through my nose, so there's a nasal breath. They'll wake up the prefrontal cortex, because if I'm in fight mode, I could be more likely breathing through my mouth to get more oxygen in and out at once. So breathing in through my nose, using my diaphragm muscle to expand my belly outward like a balloon. Now, what this is doing is directly counteracting what my body is physiologically doing through stress response activation. My breathing, when my stress response is activated, my breathing shifts from my lower stomach to my upper chest. It's like fast, rapid, and shallow. It's not fluid. It's not smooth. It's like it's choppy at best. Sometimes my breath sticks, like I hold it, and that's what it does. There's nothing personal about it. That's just okay. That's what my body does. All right. It's not that, hey, why am I breathing that way? Fuck, I don't know. My body does that, and I'm walking around unconscious. I don't know what to say. Like, I can work on it. That's what I'm doing. There's nothing personal going on about it. But learning what our bodies are doing, going, okay, whoa. I can control this thing. It's wildly mysterious right now, but I can control this thing. Good. So when I'm breathing in through my nose, I'm using my diaphragm muscle, that's my stomach muscle, to expand my belly outward like a balloon as I'm breathing in. So you think about this. When my stress response is activated, my breathing is primarily focused. My breathing charge is primarily focused in my upper chest, fast, rapid, and shallow. So by breathing like this, I'm breathing in through my nose, using my diaphragm muscle to expand my belly outward like a balloon as I'm breathing in. This also means I'm not breathing in my upper chest like my body really wants to do. From here, I'm using the muscles below my belly, and I'm rolling the air up through my torso like I'm squeezing a tube of toothpaste up into my shoulders. And I'm topping it off with a second in-breath. What this is doing is expanding millions of little pods on the surface area of the lungs, increasing the actual surface area of the lungs for the CO2 molecules in the bloodstream to attach to be rapidly ejected out of the body. This expands that surface area from what we conceptualize the size of the lungs being to something about the size of a tennis court, right? And wow, that's because all those little pods, like little balloons, creating all that extra surface area. Like if you've ever squeezed a balloon that was not fully inflated, like a small balloon, you squeeze it enough, then there's a bubble that just kind of magnifies almost instantly. And this is what we have millions of on the surface of the lungs. So just breathing in doesn't activate these. Breathing in and then topping off our first in-breath with a second in-breath does. And so I'm keeping these pods expanded for as long as possible, getting as much of that CO2 out of my bloodstream as possible through each slow restricted out breath, which is why I'm making sure my single out breath is at least twice as long as the full duration of my double in breath. Usually longer, but at least a 2-to-1 ratio. And I'm doing this over and over again. So I'm breathing in through my nose, using my diaphragm muscle to expand my belly outward like a balloon. Using the muscles below my belly, I'm rolling the air up through my torso like I'm squeezing a tube of toothpaste up into my shoulders, topping it off with a second in-breath. I'm holding it in for a few moments, and then I begin consciously releasing the tension out of my muscles through my slow restricted out-breath, making sure my single out-breath is at least twice as long as the full duration of my double in-breath. I'm doing this over and over again. I'm releasing my muscles. I'm releasing the tension out of my muscles through my slow restricted out breath. This is part 2. This is muscle relaxation. And I note that if I detect subconscious tension stored up in my muscles, if I feel muscle tension in my body, it tells me that my mind had been running somewhere else, stirring up some narrative, causing the emotion to cause the tension in my body. So number 3, thought maintenance. I'm checking to see where my thoughts have been running and bringing them back into presence without blame, shame, or question. And I'm redirecting the energy of my thought focus onto the neutral process of releasing tension out of my muscles through my slow restricted out breath, making sure my single out breath is at least twice as long as the full duration of my double in breath. And I'm doing this over and over again, keeping the breathing pattern going. I'm breathing in through my nose, using my diaphragm muscle to expand my belly outward like a balloon. Using the muscles below my belly, I'm rolling the air up through my torso like I'm squeezing a tube of toothpaste up into my shoulders. Topping it off with the second in-breath, I'm holding it in for a few moments, and then I begin consciously releasing the tension out of my muscles through my slow restricted out-breath, one muscle group at a time. Jaw, eyes, neck, shoulders, arms, legs, torso. Bringing my thoughts back into presence prevents them from running elsewhere, stirring up subconscious charges of emotion I would then have to deal with. I want to make this as easy as possible. So I'm bringing my thoughts back into presence, focusing on the neutral process of releasing tension out of my muscles through my slow restricted out breath, one muscle group at a time. In order to produce neutral thoughts, in order to produce neutral emotions, in order to flush out my system to neutral. I'm doing this over and over again, keeping the breathing pattern going. I'm breathing in through my nose, using my diaphragm muscle to expand my belly outward like a balloon. Using the muscles below my belly, I'm rolling the air up through my torso like I'm squeezing a tube of toothpaste up into my shoulders. Topping it off with a second in-breath, I'm holding it in for a few moments, and then I begin consciously releasing the tension out of my muscles through my slow restricted out-breath, making sure my single out-breath is at least twice as long as the full duration of my double in-breath. If I feel subconscious muscle tension, my thoughts have been somewhere else running and stirring up a story to cause it. So I'm checking to see where my thoughts have been running, and I'm bringing them back into presence without blame, shame, or question. And I'm redirecting the energy of my thought focus onto the neutral process of releasing tension out of my muscles through my slow, restricted out breath. One muscle group at a time. Jaw, eyes, neck, shoulders, arms, legs, torso. Bringing my thoughts back into presence prevents them from running elsewhere, stirring up subconscious charges of emotion I would then have to deal with. I want to make this as easy as possible, which is why I'm bringing my thoughts back into presence to focus on the neutral process of releasing tension out of my muscles through my slow, restricted out breath, one muscle group at a time. If my eyes are open, I'm looking directly forward. I'm not allowing my eyes to drift to the right or the left, but I'm maintaining a center line of focus at eye level or above. And I'm consciously toggling my vision from a zoomed in view of the world to a zoomed out view of the world. From seeing the one thing in front of me my mind and eyes had been stress provoked to see more clearly, to seeing whatever's in front of me, as well as everything on the right and left edges of my field of view is the same thing. And I'm sitting with this. And I'm checking to see if my mind had been dwelling in hopelessness, or am I allowing myself to realize a greater sense of hope? Because it'll be one or the other. Also, I'm checking to see if I'd been feeling entitled to heal, or if I'm grateful for my healing. Again, it'll be one or the other. I'm allowing myself to realize a greater sense of hope, and I'm consciously choosing gratitude over entitlement. Just like reducing uncertainty and reducing overwhelm help me deactivate my stress response system, allowing myself to realize a greater sense of hope and consciously choosing gratitude over entitlement helped me upregulate my higher mind operation. So this is what I'm doing over and over again. Number 1 is pattern breathing. Number 2 is muscle relaxation. Number 3 is thought maintenance. Number 4 is divergent focus. And number 5 is hope and gratitude. And I'm doing this all to regain a sense of present moment awareness again. Our present moment awareness gets swept away by emotions. We can restore it mechanically when we get good at measures to help us do this. So again, this is number 1, pattern breathing. Number 2, muscle relaxation. Number 3, thought maintenance. Number 4, divergent focus. And number 5, hope and gratitude. I hope you get good stuff from this recording. I hope you're able to use the strategy moving forward for yourself if you choose. Feel free to visit realizingpresence.com for more. I wish you a healthy healing journey. God bless you, and thank you for your support.